Good morning. It is Friday, September the 16th. I'm Shane Seeley, live from the Brighton Farmers Market in St. George. And this is the CBC Morning Report. Can Barbadians be convinced to make greater use of recycled wastewater? Well, there is hope a merger between two entities can help to change negative perceptions people may have about using recycled water while developing the industry here in Barbados. In an exclusive interview with the Morning Report, Integrated Sustainability, a construction firm based in Calgary, announced its new partnership with Ecohesion, a local wastewater treatment operations company. Vice President of Integrated Sustainability, Nick St. George, says initial plans are focused on recycling water for irrigation use and not for drinking.
Although it's very difficult for people to understand that we can eventually drink from a wastewater treatment plant, that's not what we're proposing, especially not here in Barbados, and looking to recycle treated wastewater, not for drinking directly, but to use it for irrigation purposes or re-inject it into the ground and then eventually treat it with a proper water treatment plant so it leads to the tap. So we're not quite there yet where we're directly going from a wastewater treatment plant to your tap.
Integrated Solutions CEO Stuart Torr says the merger provides an opportunity for Barbados to export wastewater treatment services.
Ecohesion right now operates over 30 different facilities right now. So really we're springboarding off a terrific little company that is doing outstanding work that we can really take them to the next level. And that's what we're planning. That's what we're planning right here.
Now, Ecohesion has been providing wastewater treatment solutions for residential communities, hotels, condominiums, and industrial plants here in Barbados. Director Corey Chapman says the merger will help to take the operation next level.
This partnership for us helps us to solidify what we do. It helps us to grow and to do it better. It helps us to offer more capabilities to Barbados, and not only to Barbados but regionally as well. I think this partnership will help us to streamline our abilities, to add business processes, and just help us. It's like a stepping stone to get from where we are to where we would really want to be.
Well, the official launch of this new merger will be tomorrow. Coming up on the Morning Report, BAMP issues a caution as back to school is around the corner. We'll have the details to that story and more in our COVID-19 updates, and we'll give you the latest on the war in Ukraine. Elderly lives matter. That's the message coming from the Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners in light of the number of seniors who have lost their battle to the virus in the latter stages of this COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking exclusively to the Morning Report, President Dr. Linda Williams is particularly concerned with back to school around the corner. All schools are expected to resume full face-to-face instruction come Monday, with only the mask-wearing mandate remaining for students when indoors.
I have a case of several elderly patients in the last week, just past week, who have fallen ill as a result of COVID-19. Some have ended up at Harrison's Point. A couple of them have died. Some are at Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Some died at Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And this still is ongoing, okay? It may be a case where 2 kids are home, but they're asymptomatic or very mildly symptomatic. So they are not really, they might have a little diarrhea. They might have some stuffy nose or runny nose and cough and so forth. But in that, they didn't realize that they spread it to their grandparents, and the grandparents are the ones, and the parents who have comorbidities. They're the ones who are bearing the effects.
As a result, the BAMP boss has listed a set of recommendations to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 from students to those who are most at risk. The list includes more students getting vaccinated. Dr. Williams is concerned that the level of vaccination remains too low among children, who are now going back into an environment where COVID restrictions have been removed for the most part.
It would have been nice to have seen those 2 things concomitant, the vaccine uptake along with the removal of restrictions. But the removal of restrictions has occurred, and so we have to encourage parents not to send your children to school if they're unwell, to have your children tested, we recommend the vaccination of those children, and we recommend that you give your children sanitizer as well as for them to wear their masks so that they can interact as safely as possible. It really comes down now to being our brother's keeper and to instructing our children wisely as to how to interact, particularly if they take public transport.
Meanwhile, we hear that 43 people tested positive for COVID-19 from 337 tests carried out on Wednesday. There were 36 people in isolation facilities, while 330 people were in home isolation. Under the national vaccination program for COVID-19, the total number of people fully vaccinated stands at 154,528. The BARP Charitable Trust, the Barbados Association of Retired Persons Charitable Trust, has reported a tremendous fall-off in donor contributions since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The revelation from Chair of the Trust's Personal Assistance Committee, Reverend Clayton Springer.
If it's one thing that we can attest to is that all classes, particularly the middle and the lower class, have been taking a whipping, a beating of immense proportions for the past couple of years, and there's no immediate relief in sight. So the needs are extremely great. And because of all of that, we know that many persons, many organizations have been taking some lashes as well, and they're
The World Health Organization warns a wide-ranging post-COVID-19 crisis is coming. The lingering effects of a syndrome called long COVID threaten to transform the lives of patients, the global healthcare system, and the world economy.
There's a post-viral syndrome.
Back with you here on the morning report. We do apologize for the break in transmission. Back with news now. Lawmen have made a major drug haul. It was at Rock Hall, St. Andrew, where at least 4 fields of marijuana, trees of varying heights, were discovered in cultivation. Nearly 3,000 plants in all were seized by a 15-member team from the Barbados Police Service. Station Sergeant Noel Watson heads up the Suppressing Criminal Activity Threatening Society Unit, or SCATS, which is based at the District A police station. Here's what he had to say.
We executed an exercise here at Rock Hall in the Parish of St. Andrew. Based on information gathered and surveillance conducted, we managed to seize a total of 2,843 cannabis plants. These range from seedlings to 16 feet in height, believe it or not, 16 feet in height, and some with a girth of about 6 or 7 inches. All right, we're going to take them out to be weighed so we can have a true weight of them and value, and then we will take them to the station concerned. We had 15 persons here. We had some aerial assistance from another entity within the organization. They were the ones who were able to pinpoint and to direct us to where the plants were located.
The station sergeant revealed that they also executed a similar raid at another field shortly after the first operation. He said while no one has so far been charged in connection with either discovery, they are actively pursuing at least one person of interest. The much publicly debated rate increase application being made to the Fair Trading Commission by the Barbados Light and Power Company is officially set to start September 21st. According to General Legal Counsel with the FTC, Kevin Webster, the application is set down for 12 consecutive business days, eventually concluding October 6th. The hearing will be held in the Chiron room of Yakka Beach Hotel and Spa. In recent months, there has been fierce public debate about the application by the BLMP. It has drawn fervent comment with senior executives of the company as well as interveners. For its part, the company says an increase is critical to its ability to continue to operate effectively and efficiently, while on the flip side, interveners have questioned whether the company has lived up to its past undertakings to date regarding efficiency and cost. One of the most recent public engagements by both sides occurred when presentations were made to the membership of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Let's go to sports now and see what's happening there. The draw has been made, and Barbados' number 2 seed will play this morning's opening match of their David Cup World Group 2 tie against Ireland at the Wildy Tennis Centre. Matthew Foster Estwick will be going up against Ireland's number 1 seed Simon Carr as he looks to get Barbados off to a winning start in the singles draw. Barbados' number 1 Darian King will play the second match against Ireland's number 2 Oscar O'Hoyson, and that's also scheduled for today. Then on Saturday in the doubles, it will be King and Hayden Lewis teaming up against O'Hoyson and Connor Gannon. Should neither team secure an unassailable 3-0 lead by that stage, there will be a reverse singles with Foster and Estwick going up against O'Hoyson and King against Carr. So we'll look forward to that. Today's action begins at 11 a.m. with Saturday's action starting at 10 o'clock. Foster Estwick says he's ready for the responsibility.
I'm feeling pretty good. Been a good week of training, and I've had a good set of preparation, so overall I'm ready to play.
My guys are ready. You guys said they're accustomed to this heat. They've played in hotter weather across the world. So there hasn't been any major complaints about dehydration in camp. We remain very hydrated throughout the week, so we should be ready for tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Ireland's Carr says they too can't wait to get on court.
We're all feeling good, I think. Speak for myself and the team, but looking forward to getting the tie started. Obviously against an experienced Barbados side, so we're looking forward to getting going and getting out there on Friday.
Remember, the action is at the tennis center at 11 today and then at 10 tomorrow. That's a look at sports. Let's take a look at weather now. Well, outside it is pretty warm already. It's up to 27 degrees Celsius, but it's feeling like 31 degrees Celsius already, the apparent temperature. A pretty picture here in Brighton, St. George at the Brighton Farmers Market. Things will get going here shortly on the other side with Pearson, but it's a beautiful day, no rain in the forecast just yet. We had some heavy showers yesterday. Of course, the winds are pretty low today. It's feeling like 32 degrees Celsius, and the winds are right now at about 14 kilometers per hour. So we'll continue to monitor things here, and that's a quick look at weather this morning. And that's it for this edition of the CBC Morning Report, live from the Brighton Farmers Market in St. George. I'm Shane Seeley. I'll see you at 7 with headline news. Up next is Pearson with Mornin Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
I'm telling you, it's theatre and action right here. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to St. George. I'm live right here at Brighton Plantation, just outside of the location for the farmers market and in beautiful St. George. So to all of you everywhere, thank you so much for waking up early with us and to keep company. Indeed, I hope you eat your heart out. But in eating your heart out, that you come on down as soon as possible to experience the lush greenery, the scenery, the everything about St. George. And I hope we are able today to tempt and tease you enough to be able to do so. Got here early enough to see the mist rise. It is a wonderful experience. Also got here early enough to have the falcock crow. And I was hoping to have all of the wonderful country sounds to share with you early in the morning. But I guess the heat of the day is beginning. And so naturally, Mr. Cock set off to do what he has to do today. But we are live today and we'll be sharing with you all things bright and beautiful about St. George. Not just the scenery, the people, the activities, the achievements, the everything. And we're thankful today also to the Parish Independence Committee who've been working really hard to pull this all together with us to showcase what they believe is also special about St. George. So if you don't see yourself, it's all right. We recognize you too to be a very special person. The traffic is flowing and going by, and I love it. So if you're going to be on the road and you're passing us here in the corner of the Brighton Plantation, just toot your horn. We want to say hi to you as well, so come on down. Let's get started this morning by introducing you first of all to the chairperson of the St. George Parish Independence Committee. Her name is Paula Harris. Paula, a very good morning to you. Thank you for inviting us to St. George. What a lovely, lovely spot.
Thanks for coming. It is very a lovely, beautiful parish.
You would say so.
It is, and I'm sure that you feel the same way already.
Well,
I heard it in your speech earlier.
Just now, huh?
Yes, please.
Well, prove it to me why St. George is so special and so beautiful.
St. George is very special and beautiful and one of the most unique central parishes. One of the things that are unique about the parish is we are the only parish that is attached to 6 other parishes.
Really?
St. Philip, Christ Church, St. Michael, St. John, St. Joseph, and St. Thomas. So that is one of the unique features about St. George.
You're right. You don't know, stop to think of it. You're absolutely right.
See, one of the most unique things about us. Persons usually say, St. George, y'all don't have a sea. We don't have the sea, but we have the scenery, as you can see here. And also if you go north, in the north part of the parish to Gun Hill Signal Station, there's also the scenery. So
you can see the sea from there.
So we don't need the sea when we have the scenery and the people.
So once they can see the scene, we have a scene.
Correct.
That's all right. But we love to tease St. George about that because, you know, this is good fun.
Yes,
but St. George is also known for so much more. And I know we want to be able to showcase a lot of that today. But I want to start with what you're doing in your work at in the Parish Independence Committee. Is this your first time as chairperson?
No, please. Actually, this is my 3rd year as chairperson. I was chairperson, secretary, vice chairperson, and attendant. I was attendant in 2016 and 2017. And then in 2017, I was adjudged attendant of the year.
Yes.
So I took a 2-year break and I was back from 2020 and now I'm chairperson again. Our parish project this year is entitled
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We are live from St. George. We're live from the corner right here in Brighton. We are actually on the grounds of Brighton Plantation, just where they have the farmers market on the weekend, and also where that huge exhibition is on by Juliana Innes. We'll talk to her a little bit later on this morning. But in this hot sunshine, and I want to caution you, the office is saying to us that there's a heat wave on, and they want to caution you as you move about today to be mindful of the heat. So consume lots of water. Not liquid or those other beverages. Water really would refresh you. And stay as much as possible out of the heat where you possibly can. And look out for the children, look out for your pets as well. But we as St. George, we are working hard. No doubt the Parish Independence Committee is saying the very same thing. I want to introduce you this morning, if you don't already know, to your St. George, your parish ambassadors. They are next to me, Rachel Scott, and next to her is Jahim Catwell. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
Welcome to Morning Barbados, and thank you for having us in the parish of St. George. Let's start with you, Rachel. Tell me a little bit about why you opted to become a parish ambassador.
Well, I always wanted to be the parish ambassador, so when I became of age, I sought the opportunity to give back to my community, in this nation, St. George, and when St. George looked good, Barbados looks good.
Indeed so. But you said from quite young, you always wanted to be.
Yeah.
What was it about being a parish ambassador? What was it about the whole program that made you so interested?
To be quite honest, I didn't really know about the program. I just knew that they give back. And that is where I wanted to channel my energy and giving back into my community and giving back to the people of St. George.
And you said this has always been you. Is there anyone in your family who has influenced you to be the way you see it?
I would say my father and my mother.
How so?
Because they always push me to be the best that I can be. They're very relaxed in me choosing my own path.
Yeah.
But they always support me in everything that I do.
So you never got licks?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay, just checking. Because sometimes, you know, us children, we can be pretty own way.
Yeah.
But it's good to know you have the support of your parents. What about you, Jahim? Your decision to be a parish ambassador, why?
Well, at first for me, it was like, I was home, just going into school. Then Paula asked me, well, would you like to be parish ambassador? And it was like, sure, why not? Because there's nothing home doing. It seemed interesting at the point, and it's something to learn from. So I decided it.
What have you learned from it?
Well, so far, I learned a lot more about the parish in a whole because I myself was inside a shunning kid. So I learned a lot more from this. It was very, very experiencing.
Well, share with me one thing you think you've learned now that you didn't know before.
Well, for starters, like the different plants, I meet a lot of people I didn't know actually in the community. I learned.
You learn a lot about people and the plants and the scenery
people,
and the
plants,
landscape
scenery.
and the like.
A lot about like the whole of St. George, like the churches. I didn't know the church was that old for starters.
Which one?
St. George
St. George
Oh, really?
Parish
The parish church?
Yeah.
How old is it? Just out of curiosity, let me test you now.
Well, the church was built back in the church we know now is actually not the original church.
Yes.
It was built back, I think,
And it's 1968.
Right, and not in head completely.
So and y'all, 1968 seems old to you? God dear, man. Look at their age. Look at what they're saying about me now. 1968 to them is
Well, that's
old.
when the new structure was
Yes,
built.
I know, but you said it's feeling old. I feel so bad. That's all right. That's okay. So talk to me, Rachel, then about what you have learned now by this program.
Well, as Paula had mentioned before, our parish project is Follow Plant a Seed. So we're doing ties closely with agriculture. So we're on a plantation this morning, and we learned a lot about the different plantations, like such as Draxall and the sugarcane unit, where they breed and cultivate sugarcane. We learned about plants in general, because since it's our parish project, we cannot go into communities with plants and say, well, here's a plant, and not teach them how to grow their own food and how to maintain it. So I learned a lot on that aspect. Also learned a lot of places. I did not know this was a part of St. George.
This corner right here?
This corner right
You see where you thought it was? St. Christchurch?
St. Philip, born in St. Philip.
Oh, okay.
So
Fair
like
enough.
driving around, I learned a lot of new places. I met a lot of new people. So that was very interesting to me.
I'll tell you, I was told that we were coming to Brighton Plantation, I know this spot, I know this corner, I know this place. I did not know this was Brighton Plantation. So it's all right. It's okay. I feel the same way, but I'm a St. Lucie man.
Yeah.
So you can't blame me for that. But
At some point in time, you still have to pass through St. George.
Absolutely. So I passed there several times. Did not know this was the Brighton Plantation.
Yeah.
But one of the things about St. George as well, is the Brighton's Farmers Market. Everybody knows about that.
Yeah.
So now, when you look at other young people today, talk to me a little bit about how you inspire them to get involved with the program that you're on and to really want to give back to the community in the way you think they ought to.
Well, the program in a whole is a very good program. We have a lot of workshops, which better us as a person, as an individual. And I find that as a good opportunity to not only better yourself, but showcase your talents, to meet new people. And that's why I would encourage persons to join the program.
What about you, Jahim?
Well, for me, it's like, children nowadays, they like to do anything that they see. So once you're doing something and a child see it, they want to follow your footsteps.
Yeah.
They want to do it too. So I see it good that kids from young want to start doing what we're doing, and they can carry on further down the line.
You said prior to your decision to be the male parish ambassador, you were shy.
Yeah, I was
All
shy.
of those kinds of things. Do you feel bolder now?
Yeah.
Yeah? So have you had a chance? I know we've had some restrictions owing to the pandemic. We could not do as much as we would have wanted to do in terms of face-to-face, people-to-people. But now it's opened up a whole lot more. You're actually able now to get out, knock on doors, and engage a bit more.
Yeah.
Jahim, how is it interacting with the people of St. George, and what are they saying to you?
Well, so far I haven't had no bad experience with no one. It was very good. People seem somewhat welcoming.
Yes.
So it wasn't a bad experience in a whole.
So you're thoroughly enjoying yourself.
Yes.
What
it's
about
very
you,
fun.
Rachel?
Well, since our parish color is red, when people see us on their doorstep, they say, we don't want no affiliation with BLP. We're okay.
Party,
Yeah.
yes.
So then we have to explain ourselves and then introduce ourselves, and then there's a different spin on things. They're more welcoming. They're eager to listen to us and participate. So I find that I quite enjoy it.
So as you prepare now for November, the Spirit of the Nation show, when you're going to be on stage and getting all the bits ready, what do you have to do to make sure that you are ready for then? What is it that you're doing?
Preparation.
Like what?
Well, as I'm not in school, so it's quite challenging doing the program and school at the same time. So with Paula, we're doing a lot of public speaking. We're trying to reach communities, to involve them so they can come to the Spirit of the Nation show to support us. We're also doing a lot of workshops in preparation. So yeah, it's interesting.
What school are you with?
The University of the West Indies.
Okay, you told me you're in school, so okay, you're at university.
Yeah.
What are you studying?
Biology and psychology.
Well, Lord have mercy. So how is that going for you?
It's quite challenging, I won't lie to you, but I maintain to.
The science of the body and the science of the mind as well.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. That's wonderful. Jahim, what about you? What are you doing to prepare for the Spirit of the Nation show?
Well, public speaking. I gotta work on my public speaking. I love to shy, so I gotta come up some more in that as a whole. And different little things. Like it's my first time doing something like this, so I gotta come up my show.
But there's nothing to be afraid of, right? Nothing to be afraid of at all. You are just be you. Just be you. People will accept you for your authenticity, for just being you. And they'll understand, and over time, it gets a whole lot easier. So are you equally excited about this journey and where it ends and where it could possibly lead you?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about you, Rachel?
Yes. Like as I said before, I was always wanted to be in the program, and now that it's happening, I am excited.
Yeah, the sun has come up in full force, hasn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it really has come up indeed. When you made your decision to become a parish ambassador and you discussed it with your parents, what did they say?
There's like, once you're comfortable in what you're doing, once you know that's what you want to do, I back you 1,001%. They also informed me that it's not a light task. Like, it's not going to be easy. You have other obligations
Mm-hmm.
outside of the program. So once I can manage them, they have no problem with me doing it.
You're lucky, Jahim. Did you have the same kind of support right away when you said, Mommy, Daddy, listen, this is what you're doing?
Yeah, my mom was supportive of me. She told me, do what you're doing. Once it's something you enjoy and you feel that you want to do it, go on for it.
What about your friends?
My friends, oh yeah, my friends been real supportive. Like, it has some days it'll be like, Shh, I got this thing in the morning. I can be so nervous. You know how it is from school. Like, nah, you can be good. You can be good. Just go along, do your thing. I believe in you. And like, I come back home, just ask me how it was.
Yes.
It's somewhere that excited for me.
Yes.
Like, it was good. It was good. It was good.
Rachel, who do you think are some of the outstanding people from St. George that you believe Barbadians need to know about?
Outstanding persons. There's a lady named Skinner. She lives in Rose Park. She's a very, very nice woman.
What is she? So she's just important to you as a nice person, or is she known for
No,
something?
she is very supportive of local businesses in St. George. So my daddy has a farm. She always comes out and she supports his farm. She supports the farmers market, you know, in front of St. George Parish Church. There's always farmers there. She also supports them. A lot of local businesses, she tries to keep it within St. George to build that particular aspect of the community.
That's wonderful. What about you, Jaheen? Is there anyone you think that everybody in Barbados needs to know about who is from?
And that is, and I show how to, the right way to pot them.
Really, what's the right way to pot seeds?
Well,
because I'm going to get it wrong, so tell me, what's the right way?
You start with the potting medium, and then you grow them on in a bigger pot.
I don't know what you mean when you say the potted medium.
Well,
so with that sounds, is that soil?
Well, it is not mud. It's a mixture of like coconut husk, grinded, and you know, various animal manure and stuff like that.
Okay, so you have that in the pot.
In trays, sealing trays.
Oh, in sealing trays.
Yes.
And you have to get the right combination and the right mixture because you can't be too much of one versus the other?
It is that you don't plant the seed too deep.
Oh.
So that when they emerge, they have
a little room.
They won't be too deep and then you can come to the top.
Oh. You're teaching me quite a lot.
Yes.
I would have just dug a hole, dropped them in, and where they land, they land. And if they don't grow, then it's my fault.
Yes.
It is really my fault. And so this is what you're teaching through the Parish Independent, your involvement with the Parish Independence Committee as you move about as well.
Yes.
The best way to pot as well. And this is wonderful. I'm so excited about the project that you guys are working on because it not just beautifies your parish, it feeds your parish because the same approach you take to potted in terms of beautiful flowers and stuff, I suppose you will also take to food.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so if I wanted then to grow cauliflower.
Sometimes you can get the seedlings that are already because you might plant it too deep. So it might be better for you to buy it at the store.
Yes.
When it's hatched already.
All right. You clearly love what you do. You
Yes,
clearly
I
know
do.
what you do.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of what you do as well and the work that you're doing with the Parish Independence Committee. I commend you and your team. And I really hope that as you come to the doors of the people of St. George, that they truly are receptive and that they understand the value of planting and growing and farming and all of those kinds of things, the joy that it brings, but also the food that, that can be brought to the table as well.
I try to make it really fun for them. And most people, when they're staring at my hair first,
that breaks the ice. That breaks the
Yes,
ice.
it
It broke the
does.
ice with me for sure.
Yes.
And that's wonderful indeed. But I wish you the very best. You hear the horns? Good
Yeah.
morning to you too. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank
all right?
you.
Good. Folks, we're coming to you live from Brighton in St. George. And the shirt says it all. Yeah, follow the lead. So we're coming live from Brighton in St. George. It's a beautiful Friday. And because it's a beautiful Friday, we'll take a break right here and we'll come back to share with you even more of the beauty of St. George in just a bit.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 7 o'clock. Here's your headline news from the Brighton Farmers Market in St. George. Can Barbadians be convinced to make greater use of recycled wastewater? Well, there is a hope that a merger between two entities can help to change the negative perceptions people may have about recycled wastewater while developing the industry here in Barbados. In an exclusive interview with the Morning Report, Integrated Sustainability, a construction firm based in Calgary, announced its new partnership with Ecohesion, a local wastewater treatment operations company. Vice President of Integrated Sustainability, Nick St. George, says initial plans are focused on recycling water for irrigation use.
Although it's very difficult for people to understand that we can eventually drink from a wastewater treatment plant, that's not what we're proposing, especially not here in Barbados, and looking to recycle treated wastewater, not for drinking directly, but to use it for irrigation purposes or re-inject it into the ground and then eventually treat it with a proper water treatment plant so it leads to the tap. So we're not quite there yet where we're directly going from a wastewater treatment plant to your tap.
The Chief Executive Officer of Integrated Solutions, Stuart Torres, says the merger provides an opportunity for Barbados to export wastewater treatment services.
Ecohesion right now operates over 30 different facilities right now. So really we're springboarding off a terrific little company that are doing outstanding work that we can really take them to the next level. And that's what we're planning. That's what we're planning right here.
Now, Ecohesion is a company that has been providing wastewater treatment solutions for residential communities, hotels, condominiums, and industrial plants. Director Corey Chapman says the merger will help with the operation and taking it to the next level.
This partnership for us helps us to solidify what we do. It helps us to grow and to do it better. It helps us to offer more capabilities to Barbados, and not only to Barbados but regionally as well. I think this partnership will help us to streamline our abilities, to add business processes, and just help us. It's like a stepping stone to get from where we are to where we would really want to be.
Elderly lives matter. That's the message this morning from the Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners in light of the number of seniors who have lost their battle to the virus in these latter stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking exclusively to the Morning Report, President Dr. Linda Williams is particularly concerned with back to school around the corner. And here's why. All schools are expected to resume face-to-face instruction come Monday, with only the mask wearing mandate remaining for students when indoors. Here's what the president of BAM had to say about this situation.
I have a case of several elderly patients in the last week, just past week, who have fallen ill as a result of COVID-19. Some have ended up at Harrison's Point. A couple of them have died. Some are at Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Some died at Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And this still is ongoing, okay? It may be a case where two kids are home, but they're asymptomatic or very mildly symptomatic. So they are not really, they might have a little diarrhea. They might have some stuffy nose or runny nose and cough and so forth. But in that, they didn't realize that they spread it to their grandparents, and the grandparents are the ones, and the parents who have comorbidities, they're the ones who are bearing the effects.
BAM is listing a set of recommendations to help prevent the spread of COVID from students to those who are most at risk, the elderly and those with chronic non-communicable diseases. The list includes more students getting vaccinated. Dr. Williams is concerned the level of vaccination remains too low among children who are now going back into an environment where COVID restrictions have been removed for the most part.
It would have been nice to have seen those two things concomitant, the vaccine uptake along with the removal of restrictions. But the removal of restrictions has occurred, and so we have to encourage parents not to send your children to school if they're unwell, to have your children tested. We recommend the vaccination of those children, and we recommend that you give your children sanitizer, as well as for them to wear their masks so that they can interact as safely as possible. It really comes down now to being our brother's keeper and to instructing our children wisely as to how to interact, particularly if they take public transport.
Meanwhile, on the COVID front, 43 people tested positive for the virus from 337 tests carried out on Wednesday. There were 36 people in isolation facilities, while 330 people were in home isolation. Under the national vaccination program for COVID-19, the total number of people fully vaccinated stands at 154,528. Lawmen have made a major breakthrough, a major drug haul, that is. It was at Rock Hall, St. Andrew, where at least 4 fields of marijuana trees of varying heights were discovered in cultivation. Nearly 3,000 plants in all were seized by a 15-member team from the Barbados Police Service. Station Sergeant Noel Watson heads up the Suppressing Criminal Activity Threatening Society Unit, better known now as SCATS, which is based at the District A Police Station. The station sergeant would have also said that they executed a similar raid at another field shortly after the first operation. He said while no one has so far been charged in connection with either discovery, they are actively pursuing at least one person of interest. And that's our headline news this morning. I am Shane Seeley here from the Brighton Farmers Market in St. George, where the other breaking news is that Pearson owned a sheep. But he'll tell you more about that on the other side of this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're live this Friday morning from the Brighton Plantation Yard. We are live from where the farmers market happens every day. And I'm on the, what I call the backside of what you see from the front. Because over here there are lots of benches and there are lots of trees, like the banana trees in the back, right there, the coconut trees, the grass where the children can come play. It is just such a wonderful location, but it's also in the beautiful parish of St. George. And it's one of those mornings where the chirping of the birds just make you feel as if you are totally at home. And that's the beauty of St. George as well, because you get to interact with nature in ways that perhaps you never thought you would. And one of the things I've learned so far for the morning is that St. George touches about 6 other parishes. Did not know that. But that means that you too can come into St. George and learn a whole lot more. But we're hoping this morning, through what we do with the Parish Independence Committee, maybe that begins to widen your knowledge and widen your feeling to come into the parish of St. George. Don't just drive through. I'm guilty of it too. Don't just drive through. Take some time to know where is what, and to engage with what is where, indeed, if you understand what I'm saying. Joining me now is the Public Relations Officer for the Parish Independence Committee. Her name is Paula BC. That's what I call her as we were setting up. Paula Brown-Carter, good morning.
Mandy, good morning.
Mandy, I keep calling you Paula. Mandy, how are you?
I am good.
Thank you for inviting us to St. George.
You're welcome.
So how has it been so far for you living in St. George? Where do you live, by the way?
I live in Greens.
Just yonder.
Just yonder.
As well.
Yeah.
So, but you've given your time and your attention to the work of the Parish Independence Committee.
Yes.
Why did you choose to do so?
Okay, so I'm a student of the University of the West Indies, and part of my give back, they had a list, and being a committee member was part of the program, and I thought that was an awesome opportunity because I always wanted to give back.
Yes.
I've lived in 2 other parishes. I've lived in St. James, and I've also lived in St. Thomas. And when I was in St. Thomas, I always said I wanted to be part of the committee. And when I got to St. George, like back to my roots, because my grandparents are from St. George, I decided, well, yes, this is what I'm going to do. So then giving back and enjoying it at the same time.
That's good. So what is it that you're enjoying so much?
Actually going around and meeting the parishioners and stuff like that. I am an introvert, but can be out if I want to.
Listen,
and I like.
I am serious. You would never have thought, right?
Right.
That person who could yap, yap, yap could be so introverted, but I am.
Right. So that kind of took me out of my shell.
Yes.
Being able to talk to people, going out there. People will invite you to events. You go and you will have a good time. You interact and stuff.
And then you go back home and you go back inside.
And go back in my shell.
So as you interact with the people of St. George, what are they saying? What's the kind of reactions you get as you share what the Parish Independence Committee is doing?
Well, part of what our project is, Follow Our Lead, Plant a Seed, they're very interested in that. And I think that was because that stemmed from being in COVID and lockdown and not having, you had certain times where you could go to the supermarket and certain times you couldn't. I think that bringing up that idea and planting something to eat or to grow that you could actually go outside of your yard and cut off or pick, and they were very interested in that.
So how are you tracking that? Because you tell me to follow your lead, plant a seed. All well and good, I could plant it and walk away and leave it there. I've planted, you can't say I didn't plant. But what you're trying to encourage is more and more people to involve themselves in agriculture.
Yes.
To feed themselves and feed those who they love.
Yes, going back to history.
What's the plan in terms of tracking how that is progressing?
We're going to do workshops, so people can stay tuned to our Facebook page and our Instagram page and look out for when we are going to have, because we're going to pair with the Barbados Agriculture and other people to help to teach people basically what to do and what not to do and stuff like that. We're asking if a neighbor grows something to share it with another neighbor, like a barter kind of situation.
Yeah. So you say as public relations officer, it's your job to make sure the public gets to know.
Yes.
You say you have a Facebook and Instagram page.
Yes.
So how can people watching today from St. George who are saying, well, I didn't know this. So tell them what the labels, the names of your pages are.
So on Facebook, it is the St. George PIC. And also on Instagram is the PIC St. George.
So St. George PIC Facebook. On Instagram, it's PIC St. George. Turn it around. And it's there where we can get all the information that you guys are working on. So what else are you guys, talk to me about the plans that are ahead to come and what St. George people need to involve with.
Okay, so in November, obviously in November there's the Spirit of the Nation show on the 19th at the gymnasium. That is the focus right now, but after that we're going to have a lot of community projects going on. We're planning for the 30th of November to have inter-parish activities such as football, cricket, and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that as well.
Keep following the Facebook and Instagram pages for more details as Mandy shares more with you. But there's so many things that are wonderful about the parish of St. George. It is green, it is lush, it is always feeling wet because it seems as if the rain pours down here all the time.
It does not forget.
and so what else about St. George do you think that Barbadians need to appreciate about the parish that you call home?
Only that is the bread basket of Barbados.
Really?
Yes, it is.
For a little child watching today, they don't. And they say, "What do you mean by bread basket of Barbados? What does that mean?"
It means that it feeds the entire country and beyond.
In what?
In agriculture and everything.
Really?
Yes.
St. George.
St. George.
And are you yourself a part of that bread basket in terms of what you do and grow? No.
For myself, I have
for yourself.
I have herbs right now. I'm planting herbs.
But you see, follow the lead, plant a seed is exactly what you're doing as well.
Yes.
You're not just saying it, you're actually doing
practicing it as well. Yes.
Sweet. And so as you interact with people, that's exactly what you're sharing. To follow their lead, plant a seed. And you're working with the young parish ambassadors as well and motivating them and taking them places. How has that been for you working with these two youngsters?
It's been fun, challenging, obviously. everyone is in their own little bubble or circle. So to get them out there and to actually talk to people, bring them out of that shell, challenging but exciting at the same time.
You never thought it at this stage in 2022 this is
No.
what you'd be doing?
No.
But I'm sure you volunteered for a reason and you're giving back to your parish. In terms of people coming forward and volunteering to be, is it difficult or are you?
Very.
Why do you think that is?
I think people associate being with the parish committee as you should be getting paid and volunteering. Like most people that I meet, you get paid for that? No, it's volunteer. Wait, what's the point? But I think people need to get back in the mind frame
Just bring your
of
mic a little
giving.
bit closer so everybody hears you.
People need to get back in the mind frame of giving back and not looking for remuneration in return.
I agree with you. Have you ever been to this location before, Brighton Plantation?
No.
So, is it first for you too?
Yes, please.
That's a dolphin shape for me too. But you know, this is where the farmers market is.
I've heard about it. I always promised to come
But
on a
never got
Saturday.
there.
Never.
Yeah, but when I drove in here this morning, I was like, wait, in here is really nice.
It is.
It is
It's
such
beautiful.
a wonderful location. So you too need to get outside and explore St. George, Mandy.
So far, I've been doing some of that.
Yeah. Where are some of those places you've been so far that you've never been into before?
Most of the places that I've been to thus far, I have been before, like Todd's and Draps Hall area, because I'm from that area. Because of the manpower, we did places close within our vicinity. But I haven't ventured outside of any place that I have not been before.
And that's why it's important for us of St. George to get onto the Facebook page, St. George PIC, and the Instagram page, PIC St. George, to know more, because that's how they're reaching out to you. It's not always possible to be able to do so in person. But because there are these opportunities and avenues now, that's one way that you're advertising and getting involved with people. Mandy, all the best.
Thank
you. Got your work cut out for you.
I do.
But you're up to the challenge, right?
Yes, please.
How are you balancing this work, though, with your studies as well?
With work, this work, and studies, in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen, sister. I feel it. But you're getting through by God's grace, indeed.
Indeed.
All right, Mandy BC, Mandy Brown Carter. She's the Public Relations Officer with the St. George Parish Independence Committee. And again, remember, folks of St. George and Barbados as well, go to their Instagram and Facebook pages. On Facebook, there are the St. George PIC. On Instagram, there are PIC St. George. We're by the bridge here at Brighton Plantation in the corner, and we're looking forward to seeing more from you soon. So we'll take a break and share more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
About Brighton Plantation, you know, there's a nursery rhyme that just came to mind. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. This Jack almost fell down and broke his crown, but Jill didn't come tumbling after. And that's what you get when you explore the grounds here at Brighton Plantation. There are these little slopes that take you other places as well. And this is the beauty of what it is. It's a plantation yard. Brighton itself being one of those large plantations. As a matter of fact, the same family name still owns the location. And that is what we call legacy, and you experience it all right here in St. George. Many of you know this spot because you come to the Brighton's Farmers Market on the weekends, on Saturdays, and because you know the spot, sometimes you get so caught up in your own transactions, you don't get a chance to really explore the grounds, but we're doing so with you this morning. So I've shifted positions, and behind me that little lovely greenhouse where, you know, they do lots of other types of controlled farming, but the Valley of St. George is rich, the soil is fertile, and as Mandy just said, it's the food basket of Barbados because it rains down here every day. And so that's part of the wonder of living in St. George. No beach, but if you go certain heights, you can see the sea. From that, they claim it then as theirs. Joining me right now to talk a little bit more about the work of the Parish Independence Committee is Brittany Beyer, who is the Assistant Secretary Treasurer of the St. George Parish Independence Committee. Brittany, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome to Friday. I'm saying to you, welcome to Brighton's Plantation. Is this your first time?
No, actually my second time.
Coming onto the grounds?
Coming onto the grounds.
So what brought you here the first time?
The first time I was part of a committee as well, and we just came here to visit the farmers market.
Yeah.
And we bought some plants and different stuff from here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So for those like me who has never come to the farmers market, what's that experience like?
Coming the first time, seeing all the different vendors is not overwhelming, but it's breathtaking. And you're able to see different produce that we have in the parish and come out and support your own local persons.
Well, that's sweet. I really must take the trip down one Saturday morning while they're here because it's not a whole day experience. It's
not.
Just a few hours.
Yeah.
And it's just brisk trade as well.
Yes.
So your decision to join the Parish Independence Committee, what prompted you to do so?
What prompted me basically was growing up seeing my mother in different organizations throughout St. George, even my Auntie Paula, and that encouraged me even more to come out and be part of the PIC and other organizations in St. George.
So other people's example is what you're seeking to follow.
Yes.
That's interesting. That's really, truly interesting. Where in St. George are you from?
I am from Good Intent, St. George.
I don't know where that is.
Further down from Ellerton.
I don't know where that is. So Ellerton, if I took the right across, straight across there, that road, it leads me into Ellerton.
That's correct.
And then once I come to the end of the road, there by the shop.
Yes.
And by the playing field, Ellerton playing field.
You go straight across.
Straight across and heading towards you?
Yes, and you're heading directly
there
towards
every Sunday.
Seriously?
Serious as a judge. And I did not know because you know Glen Acres?
Yes. So you just further down from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're telling me. So once I go past Glen Acres, keep going, I'm going
Well, you don't definitely go past Glen Acres. So if you pass the primary school.
Yes.
Right. So you will meet at the junction.
Yeah.
You're going to make a short left and a short right and you found me.
It's a left turn. I make the right turn. That's the difference.
Yes.
So I wouldn't know you. But that left turn takes you back onto the highway area?
Well, the left turn, if you continue to follow the road, it takes you down to the bottom of like Blenma Hill, back down to the 4 Cross.
Which 4 Cross?
The 4 Cross just short down here.
Okay.
Yeah, by Boarded Hall.
All right, fair enough. You see, I'm learning, and that's the whole point. You know, take the time, drive through St. George, learn the roads, learn the places as well, and that's what you guys seek to do with other people of St. George. Does it not strike you odd that there are people in St. George who don't know St. George that well?
Yes, because there's a lot of persons that don't know like some of the historic sites, or you might call a name, even myself sometimes, like, where's that? But then you actually know where it is, but not by name, but passing.
You actually go take the road pretty often, but you just don't know the name.
Yeah.
And that happens. But you said something about historic sites.
Yeah.
What historic sites are in St. George?
For one, there's the St. George Parish Church, and there's also Gun Hill Signal Station, and we also have Orchid World as well.
Ah, and Orchid World is also on the road from the Gun Hill.
Yeah.
So all in one look. So you come up St. George.
And you just travel through.
And you pass Gun Hill. You will also pass Orchid World.
Yeah.
So all on one particular road right there.
Yeah.
But St. George in itself is so vast. Yeah. It's huge, but it's also quite beautiful. And that's what you seek to do through the work of the Parish Independence Committee, to show the beauty of who you are and the people who you are. What makes people from St. George, you think, so very, very special?
For me, what I would say is that whenever you enter the parish of St. George, they're always willing to give and they're always willing to share. So even with our project, Follow Our Lead, Plant to Seed, where we're encouraging parishioners to plant their own produce and grow what they want to eat, basically. So we always give back. We are always our brother's keepers.
And that's the people of St. George.
Yeah.
That's who you live. That's where you live.
Yes.
You live. Have you always lived in St. George?
Well, I moved to St. George when I was 9 years old, but my
Uh-huh.
mother and father born and bred in St. George.
And you moved, and you have not regretted that move.
Not at
You
all.
have not had that hunger to go somewhere else and live.
Nope.
Mega sport. Have you ever been to the Parish of St. Lucie? No.
Not all the time, but
That's all right. But Parish of St. George is truly beautiful, I must admit. And especially this spot where we are, the Brighton
Yeah.
Plantation. What do you know of Brighton Plantation? Anything? The history?
not much about the history. I just know mostly about the farmers market here.
Yeah,
So
and
I
I
have my
think that's
homework.
part of what I think you're trying to also achieve with the people
Yeah.
of St. George, to get to know more of the history of St. George. There's several plantations
There
in
is.
St. George, and because there are, drive around, do your Google, if you have to Google, and get to know a whole lot more about this plantation as well, because
true.
the family that originally owned it, the name continues still as in ownership
Yeah.
of the plantation ground. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
You know, and that is a legacy that St. George needs to also celebrate and to
It's true.
acknowledge as well.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning, Miss Britt.
Thank you.
Brittany is the Assistant Secretary Treasurer. And what does that mean, by the way? What is your function? Gather the monies?
Well, basically, I assist the secretary and the treasurer and even the chairperson. Anything anyone needs, I'm here.
All right, so she's giving back to her community. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She's giving back to her community. She's giving back to you, St. George. And she wants you to follow them, take the lead, and plant a seed as well. But to know more about what's the work of the St. George Parish Independence Committee, remember to go to their Facebook page, St. George PIC, or their Instagram page, PIC St. George, to know more. Knowing more means we get to also explore what else is happening in St. George. And the St. George Youth and Culture Club, they have a bunch of young people who are so very active. And so we thought we should capture a little bit of that to share with you. So take a look at the work of the Ellerton Youth and Culture Club.
My name is Shavar Brathwaite, and the name of the group is Ellerton Youth and Culture Club. Well, we officially started in 2001, and we had our official launch this year, June, at the Ellerton Wesleyan Holiness Church. Well, it was a very challenging one because we had to start, and then when different protocols were being in place, we had to be stopping and starting back again. So that caused some of the children to drop out in terms of the parents being scared of the pandemic. But now it's been good. Well, we have approximately 7 stilt walkers and 7 drummers. So so 14 persons approximately are in the group. The youngest member is Ethan Boyce, and he's 4 years old. Well, our youth commissioner, Miss Alicia Catwell, did some groundwork in the group. I realized that we needed some disciplinary training for the young people in the group, in the area, who were having challenges at home, etc. So that was one of the reasons why we started the Ellerton Youth and Culture Club. Well, we would love to see the club going to areas like Ghana and taking our top band, especially, and different aspects of the stilt walking. We're traveling. We want to try to get into the hotel sectors, even malls, etc. Well, I am a bass player, and I'm also the president of the youth club. We have approximately 25 members in the youth club. That is including the participants of stilt walking, drumming, and dancing, along with the committee members. Well, she's a mentor, along with being the youth commissioner for this area of St. George South. So she would try to get different gigs and different programs for the club. Tutor is Mr. Jeffrey Wilkinson, who is very well known in the top band and stilt walking aspect. Well, because we're here on Thursday evenings from 4:30 to 6, being here with them, you get to hear what challenges they're having at home. It would give us the opportunity to reach out and find different things for them to do. And then you also give them the team spirit of working together with their peers. Because all of our members are not from Ellerton. Some of them are from other areas of the St. George South area. Group was formed initially under the Ministry of Sports, Youth and Community Empowerment under their program Uniting Youth Through Culture. Well, it's a very big community with different areas. Ellerton is just a broad name, but they have other big areas. It's a community that is well known for its sports, especially with football. We are currently starting a netball team who is doing well. Other than that, is a friendly community. It's a community that we welcome anyone to, and we don't have any crime and violence in our community. Fondest memory of growing up in St. George, I grew up in the eastern community, is playing different sports in the road. We played cricket, we played football, we played all different sports in our road, hopscotch.
Well, there you go. You heard it there from the Ellerton Youth and Culture Club. And would you believe it that Brittany is his cousin? Britt, I didn't know. Why did you tell me that before? One. And secondly, what work do you do with them?
Before, and I'm actually the secretary for the Ellerton Youth and Social Club.
Brittany, you are so actively involved in so many things.
I am.
Where do you find the time and how do you balance your time so you do all of this?
Well, I try my hardest between school, work, and the different clubs. Try to manage in between the two.
Would you change it for the world?
No.
You will keep it at it, right?
I will.
And so encouraging other young people and young women like yourself to get involved, what would you say to the young women of St. George and the young people of St. George in terms of volunteering and giving back?
Well, for me, what I would say is give it your best shot, because you never know what talents others might have out there. And for me, I never thought that this would be me. So you just come out, showcase your talent, get involved with the different youth, and you'll be good.
You heard it from Brittany Byer, folks. Just do it. Just do it. Nike said it before. Follow the lead, plant a seed. And that's what she does every day. She follows the lead of those who've gone before. She continues to plant her seed in terms of giving back to her community. But it's a parish project. And they want, as they come around with you with the seedlings, they'll teach you how to do it, but to plant seeds to feed yourself. We're taking a break right here on Morning Barbados. And when we come back, we're meeting some other exciting, interesting people from St. George.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So here we are live from the Brighton Plantation Yard in St. George. It's the location of the Brighton's Farmers Market. It's also the location of the Brighton Storeroom, where there is an exhibition on, and we'll talk to you a little bit more about that in just a little while. But we'd like to meet some salt and earth people, really some earthy people. With me is Cecilia Rowe. She lives in the parish of St. George, and she is just super active. Cecilia, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
You were here so early. I like that. Thank you for showing up early.
Yes, I like to be early.
That is, why do you like to be early?
If you give me a time, I like to be there for the time.
And you know these young people don't know that.
Well, that's how it is. But I like to know that. And my past job being in managerial, where I like my, employees to be on time.
Yes.
I like to look at people's time is important to them.
Yes,
So
yes.
that is why I like to be on time.
Have you always lived your life in St. George?
Born in St. George, literally born.
Yeah.
So I was born at home. Literally born in St. George.
Yeah.
And I was born in Dratsall, St. George, the historic Dratsall. I'm very, very proud of that community.
Yes.
And I've driven all over Barbados, and I do not see anywhere else that I would live but Dratsall.
Really?
Yes, I do not see anywhere else.
So you have been born in Dratsall. You continue to live in Dratsall.
Yes.
Aren't you bored with Dratsall?
No.
You're back in
Where
sport,
I
girl.
am surrounded by family on both sides of the road. And Dratsall is a nice, peaceful place. And everybody there seems to be family.
That's good.
When you go around and you talk, but so you're family, but everybody in Dratsall is family.
No, there's Dratsall Jump.
Yes.
There's so many other iterations of Dratsall. How many? There's Dratsall Jump.
There are 4. Dratsall Jump, Dratsall Woods, where I live,
Right.
Dratsall Tenetry, and Dratsall Hope. And we have in our community a club. I think the club is now about 17 years old.
Yes.
And the club is called DH4.
Oh, nice.
So the D is Dratsall, and the 4 represents the 4 areas of Dratsall.
Nice.
Yes, so I'm very, very proud of that.
What does this club do?
Okay, for the 17 years we were in operation, what we do is give back. And one of the ways that we give back is every year, all the children in the district that sit the 11 plus exam, we give them a financial donation to help them. So we don't just give them. What we do is we have a little ceremony.
Yes.
Where we have a speaker come in to inspire the children. We have one of the past students do a special, like a song, or somebody will play an instrument. So we have a nice little ceremony for them. What we do also, we get candles. And we let past students pass the candles on.
Nice.
And then we invite our parliamentary representative as well to give a little pep talk and so. And then we give the gifts, the monetary gifts.
Yes.
So we like the children to wear the school uniform from the primary school. So the transitioning and all that.
Yes.
So we did our last one very recently. We always do it in August. So that was our last one. We only had 4 students this time. But there was a year when we had about 17 at one time. What we did in the club too, we started a reading club, but the COVID shut that down. And what happened is that we're starting it back now. So even if the children who come to reading club, if they don't live in Dratsall, we still include them in the monetary donation.
I'm watching your face as you tell this story. I've seen that you are loving this. You are so proud of the work.
Listen, when Placid Bay sang his song, Can't Find Me Brother,
Yes.
I was there. And when he went through all the halls, when he said Dratsall, my sister, myself, all of us just jumped up. The word Dratsall. I'm so proud of it too because it speaks a lot of history.
Yes.
And James Dratz, I had an opportunity to speak to him some time ago.
Really?
Because my parents, they're recipients of the Tenantry Freehold Act, where we got the land at a nice price. And you can't afford land now.
That's true.
But so that is my heritage. Actually, years ago, I was offered. If somebody said, if I give you $1 million for your spot, would you take it? I said, no, I'm not selling my birthright.
Let me ask you the question now in 2022. If I give you $1 million to take your spot.
No.
Still no?
No, I'm not fascinated by money. But I live like on top of a hill.
Yes.
So I can see the view. But up on the jump now, there's a higher hill. So if you go up to the jump, you have a better view. and you could view from St. Philip right around Bridgetown.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
So it is lovely living in Dratsall. And in terms of getting that community together, though, because, you know, sometimes people live next to each other, but they don't necessarily relate.
Right.
How do you get all of St. George, Dratsall in particular, together that you can do what you're doing there in that community?
Well, the community was always knit with hometown people. But nowadays you have people who come in.
Come in, yes.
Because there's land there and people will buy land and come in. We live right below the famous rolling hills as well. So we're surrounded by, you know, beautiful scenery, people planting, people doing all sorts of things.
Wow, it is sweet. Cecilia, you have done so much in your life. And you know, when you think of St. George in particular, I mean not just Dratsall alone, but St. George, give us 2 reasons why people need to leave where they are right now from whatever parish and come explore and enjoy St. George.
Okay, one of the things I would say to come into St. George for, once you have the land, you can plant your own food and you can share.
Yes.
I had the privilege of going to a nice agricultural project. It was about 6 weeks or so. And I learned so much. My father used to plant. And when he reaped the products, he would send us, me and my siblings, through the district to give. He never sold anything that he planted.
Wow.
So I come up like that. I can't sell what I plant.
Oh, that is beautiful.
And I've just planted some okras and things from the class. So
what's this in your hand?
this is something to do with the parish church.
Oh, I'm going to talk to him about that in a
Yes,
minute.
yes,
I can't wait to flog him. You hold on. But Cecilia, it is wonderful meeting you. Continue doing at Dratsall all the work that you guys are doing there. I love the fact that as a community, you're able to help one another in the way that you do. So congratulations on all of that. And thank you for having us in St. George this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I hope you enjoy St. George.
Oh,
and
you
come
better
back
believe
again.
it. You better believe it. I'll take the mic from you now.
Thank
you very much indeed. And so in St. George, there are some outstanding places of interest. You would have heard that this morning. One of those places of interest is the St. George Parish Church. But in all of this, there are also people of interest. And we're going to continue meeting people of interest who are also part of the places of interest. This man here, see, he gives me so much trouble every time. Warrant Officer Sheraldine. Morning, my brother.
Good morning, Sir Pearson. How are you?
Oh, I like that, Sir Pearson, to you too. And I am well. How are you doing, man?
I am as good as can be.
Jeez, all right. You are a man that we all admire. I mean, we've seen you on TV with a lot of our military processions and helping us to do coverage there.
Yes.
But then I interact with you in the St. George Parish Church.
Certainly.
And you give back to your community in that kind of way. What is it about what you do that excites you?
I love doing what I'm doing. And at the same time, assisting people wherever possible. Because the knowledge that I have gained is no help to me if I keep it to myself.
True.
So wherever possible, I like to pass information on to people.
Nice. And you do that at your church. I am told it's one of the oldest churches, not just in St. George, but on the island?
Yes, it is. It was originally built between 1637 and 1641. It was destroyed in that great hurricane of 1780 and was rebuilt in 1784. So the present St. George Parish Church structure is well over 350 years.
And it's still strong.
Still strong. And it is strong because of the generous support of the parishioners over the years, including the plantation owners.
Yes.
And this same plantation where we are now, Brighton Plantation, and the Pearls have given generously to the upkeep of the St. George Parish Church.
You know what I love to do when I go through? I don't know if you've seen me, but I like to walk. I read every plaque on that wall in memorial of something or someone.
Certainly.
I find that so interesting as you read people's stories. And so for anyone like me who's fascinated by people's stories, then St. George's Parish Church is one of those locations where you can see the tale of the time being told. And so what does it mean to you to be able to be in a space where such history resides in St. George Parish Church?
I presently serve on the Parochial Church Council. and I'm also the verger.
Yes.
Now, though they've changed it from sexton to
Yes,
verger.
yes, yes.
And so my main responsibility is to ensure that the church is open and that it is ready for mass, funerals, weddings, whatever the case may be. And I take great delight in ensuring that St. George Parish Church is always spick and span and ready. A lady once told me that she loves to come to St. George because the brass is always shining.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, well, look, if you're going to come to St. George because the brass is always shining and beautiful, let me continue to shine it. And I'm sure that when you come to St. George, there's something else that would entice you to come back.
Yes.
And you become a Christian.
You know, and he's so right. You know, every time you walk into St. George Parish Church, it is always spick and span. And then you'll always see you there flitting around doing something. It feels almost as if whatever hour of the day you are there. And that speaks to your level of commitment to the service of your church.
My grandson Zen, he would always say, Daddy, no, not Daddy, Granddaddy, are you going to your second home? That is what he refers to. And he loves to come to St. George. In fact, Zen was baptized at St. George, and on Sunday he saw Father Rogers. He said, Father Rogers, I remember you poured water on my head.
I like the innocence of a child, indeed.
Yes.
But you're holding something in your hand. What's this about?
This is a brief history of the St. George Parish Church with the famous painting of the resurrection that was done by Benjamin West. Benjamin West was an American, and he became president of the Royal Academy, and a number of the paintings that he did are presently hung in Buckingham Palace.
Oh.
So we are fortunate. Now, that particular painting was not originally designated for St. George Parish Church. It was really for a lower estate plantation, and it was there, and somebody broke into the plantation. No, somebody broke into the church, and when it was erected there, and they saw this eye looking at them, and they punched out the eye.
Oh dear.
Now, there was great concern of how best we can get it redone, and they put a patch over the eye, and it was really a picture of the centurion on that morning of the resurrection. And if you look closely, you can actually see the centurion when Mary Magdalene was there when Jesus rose from the tomb.
Yeah, I see that. The centurion just under the rock right there.
Yes,
big
just
stone.
under the rock. Yes.
Wow, this is great. So there's a lot of history. There's
lots of history
that one should explore when we come down to St. George Parish Church.
Certainly.
You know, time is against us. I wish we could talk a whole lot more about a whole lot more, my brother.
Yes.
My boy, Cheryl Dean, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure, and I hope that you get a chance to see the beauty of St. George, especially across the valley. When you look at the village that is going up there being built by Sagicor.
Indeed. It is beautiful to behold. So come behold the beauty of nature right here in the Valley of St. George. We're going to take a break here on Morning Barbados, and we're coming back to share with you more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Gallery here at Brighton, the Brighton storeroom, as a matter of fact. And this week, we did tell you about an exhibition that is on by a master craftsperson, a ceramic artist, Juliana Innes. She is with us this morning, but she also brings along the manager for the storeroom. This storeroom is on Brighton Plantation. It's the Brighton storeroom, and we're right here on the corner. And as I told you before, several times we drive by, and we're not even aware that we're driving by a space of art. So if you can come on through now, Juliana Innes is going to be joining me right now as she comes through to talk about these stories and tell the stories of the tale of these pieces of art. Juliana, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to meet you in person.
Nice to meet you too.
Lord have mercy. You know, sometimes you meet people, you talk to people on the air, and then you butt up in them and you think, you're shorter than I thought you were. With us, Estelle Thompson, the gallery director. Estelle, good morning to you as well.
Good morning. Hi.
Well, Estelle, I'll start with you. This space here on the grounds of Brighton Plantation, how long has this space been doing what it's doing, showcasing art?
Well, we set up in October 2019. The Brighton Storeroom is at the kind sort of generosity and support of Alison and Michael Pyle, who run the Brighton Farmers Market. And we are open every Saturday during the market. We love the fact that we are completely embedded inside this particular room, which is surrounded by vegetables, stalls, and it's just a perfect little space.
I can well imagine the conversations in here, not just because of the art, but because of what it represents as well. I'm trying to get the history of the space, because we know the history of the plantation and the lovely location of this spot as well. What else can you say about what this room would have represented?
Well, this room itself was a foaling stable. And obviously we had to work hard to convert it into a space that could show contemporary art. Put a new floor in, lighting system, prepared the walls, but we knew immediately that it was the most beautiful proportions of a space to showcase contemporary art. And we loved the fact, as I said, that it was in an unusual setting, in that people would come, buy the vegetables, look at the crafts, browse, have a coffee, lime, relax here, but at the same time, that was the perfect location to grab people, for the general public, anyone who may not have visited a contemporary art gallery and seen the showcasing of the fabulous art that's being made both here in Barbados, but regionally and internationally. And we try to showcase both emerging and established artists to give a real sense of the kind of arts that are being made here and within the region.
Are these showcases ongoing? So when Juliana's is done, then another artist? Oh, good, because I wanted people to know that, because oftentimes you don't know until someone says, I'm having an exhibition. So there's always something to engage with in the Brighton storeroom.
Absolutely. I can't remember the exact number of shows that we've had, but we've had both individual solo shows for Barbadian artists, but we've also had group and themed shows where we might take a theme and invite artists. We just concluded an exhibition which was an exchange collaboration with artists in Canada, an exhibition of prints that was happening both here in this space, but it was happening in Canada at exactly the same time. Our artists were sent to Canada and their artwork sent here, and so in combination, both exhibitions happened at the same time. There will be exhibitions coming up. So please, we want people to absolutely know about us, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And,
yes.
And join up to our mailing list, or just look at us on the website to see what we've got, what we do.
So Juliana, now I get to see with my own two naked eyes everything we've been talking about, and these huge pieces of art. And that's the whole beauty of what you've been able to do in ceramics. Now that we're here, let's walk through bit by bit and show people what it is that they're engaging with when they come, because the exhibition is on.
Yes, till the October 29th. And all of the pieces are hand done.
Yes.
With coils, no wheel is used. I use my 10 fingers to make every piece you see here. And I am using a limited number of forms. And like what I was saying to you yesterday, I'm looking at storage or keeping important things.
Yes.
And
this is one of those pieces.
Yes. So I've used this more rounded form, which is a classical sort of African vessel for storing grain and carrying water and those kinds of things. But I'm using it to store this is an adinkra symbol on here, which means commitment and perseverance.
Okay.
And I am committed, and I'm very, committed and devoted to making ceramics and getting it out there. These forms.
These are the ones I'm fascinated by.
Okay.
Describe them once again for us so we understand what these represent.
Right. It's an upturned vessel, and it is a spirit house.
Yes.
I was looking at the idea of how would I store a spirit of an ancestor?
Yes.
What would I keep that spirit in? And I did research, and I always do research, and I came across some things similar but very different in terms of how they were decorated. And I really liked this very quiet domed shape, and I started to use the different types of clay to create the patterns and things like that, and small holes so that spirit can move in and out. Yes.
Alone, and the texture varies.
Yes.
But it's also really beautiful indeed.
Thank you.
But I like the way that you're able to display one's love for one's loved one. It's not just an urn placed on a mantelpiece, but it's actually a piece of art that we can actually say, this is my loved one, this is whomever it is. So we have it in this design, and then there are others along the way. And how long would it take for you to craft something like this?
It would take me about a week to make. This one is particularly tricky because of the different colored clays and inlaying and so on, and not trying to make it too messy. So trying to keep the clays nice and crisp and so on. And I always try to have pattern that you can see, and then things that will make you come in to the piece to kind of become more intimate with it. And I've done that with
all the others as well.
Yeah.
Then there are these ones to the other side over here that I find so interesting, the way that they fold almost at the top.
Yes. These two are called Taino seed keepers. And I did a workshop in the Dominican Republic in 2010, and a vessel like that, but in a very small form, were used by the Taino people, which are some of the first people to live in the region, to keep seeds and food. So food is important, and seeds are important. So I thought, okay, but I wanted to make a large version. And they were done like that, very undulating. It was a very wonderful form. So this is the first time I'm making it since 2010.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Well, they're beautiful. I'm telling you, those are captivating for me, and I'm sure for anyone else who's deciding to come to the exhibition, you will be equally captivated. And these, what you're showing you this morning, by the way, are the works of Juliana Innes, master craftsperson indeed. She works in ceramics. And is that the only textile in which you work?
That's the only medium, yes. I trained at school doing textile design as well. But as I progressed, ceramics became more and more an immediate form for me to really express myself. And there's so much to learn in it, and I've just decided that this is where I'm going to stay.
And this is where it is now, folks. It's beautiful. We commend it to you.
Yes.
And the
Come
gallery
to the Brighton
opens.
storeroom.
Just talk to me a little quickly there, Estelle. The gallery opens for Juliana's show. Talk to me about the times and the days so that people can come.
Yes, we're open from 7 till 10 every Saturday. And everyone is very, very welcome. We have a lovely, lovely energy in the space every Saturday. It's open until the end of October, the 29th of October. So we would just encourage everyone to come along and see them. It's one thing to see them in a photograph or even like this filmed. It's another thing to be present with them, because they are just so desirable, aren't they? And alive. They're like bodies. They are like bodies. And I don't think people get a sense of the scale. Maybe a little bit more with us now. But certainly, I think a lot of people who had seen images before were really shocked when they saw just how big and bodily they were. But also just what presence they've got.
Yes, you're right. I saw images only. Now I see it in person. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
And you can see the labor of love. We can see the amount of time you've spent, because it would take time to do these. And Juliana, this is great work. Commend you indeed for it.
It took me about 6 months to work, and I was invited to do the show by the Brighton Storeroom last year, and I said I want to do it, and I want to do it well.
Yes, and you've done it very well, as a matter of fact. I want to thank both of you, Estelle Thompson, the gallery director, and with us, the master craftsperson, Juliana Innes, indeed. Encourage you to come over to the Brighton Storeroom and view the pieces of art on exhibition until the end of October. And now you know on Saturday morning between 7 and 10, this is where you're going to be almost every Saturday if you want to, and get to interact with the messaging of each piece moment by moment. Thank you, ladies. All the very best indeed.
Thank you so
indeed.
much.
Folks, that is it from St. George. I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning, joining our whole team. And thank you too to the Parish Independence Committee for working so hard to pull all of this together. For all of them, to each of you, we say thank you. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. See you very soon at the Brighton Plantation and the Brighton Storeroom.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good